Boxingego here. If you like this video, make sure you hit the like button and also subscribe to the channel and hit the bell icon on the top of your screen to get notified when the latest new content drops. 1. Lomachenko says Mikey Garcia, even after his performance over Adrian Broner, is not an A-class fighter. What up, Fight World? It's your boy Ego, and I'm back with some more boxing. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel for the latest and greatest in boxing. If you want to become part of the gang notification gang, please hit that bell icon. Shout out to the super chats. I've been going live a lot. You guys see it. Thank you for supporting the movement with the super chat donations, the regular channel donations, and also the Patreon patrons. We working. Now, they did a conference call to promote Lomachenko, who's fighting. He's fighting Miguel Mariaga, moving up in weight, coming off a loss. And we'll see. That's his title defense. It's going to be on ESPN. I did a first look, tell of the tape on that. Make sure you guys check it out. Vasyl Lomachenko versus Miguel Mariaga. Now, I was at the Broner versus Garcia fight in New York. I got back late last night. It's actually the first time I'm getting home. You know, we working. And on the conference call, I want to talk about some of the things Lomachenko said through his translator and also Top Rank. Lomachenko says, I did see his fight, meaning Mikey Garcia's fight, Broner Garcia. His trainer, Robert Garcia, at one point mentioned Mikey Garcia is a fighter of A class. I didn't see anything during that bout where he was A class, class A. Outstanding fighter. Yes, he won the fight. Yes, he did everything to win the fight the way it needs to be, but I haven't seen nothing outstanding. I haven't seen him being an A class fighter. And it was slow. I almost got to sleep. I almost got put to sleep. Wow. That's coming from Vasyl Lomachenko. Now, Todd DeBuff, who I believe is a stepson of Bob Arum, he's with Top Rank, one of the head guys in charge, president, and he had a lot to say too. He was saying that basically Mikey Garcia, after that performance, he won, he did what he had to do, but it wasn't a scintillating fight, and he clearly won the fight, but it wasn't like a star-making performance, he was basically saying. And he doesn't see people clamoring for Mikey Garcia and him being a huge big name and sell-out draw now. Now, it's kind of hard with situations like that because we know the history with Top Rank and Mikey Garcia. Mikey Garcia, he actually sat on the sideline for over 2 years dealing with legal, like back and forth with Top Rank, trying to be released. He was no longer happy. Todd DeBuff was like talking about, basically, I'm just paraphrasing. He was saying that Terrence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, they're not avoiding anybody. They're not ducking any fades. And he says Mikey Garcia and his team, him and his brother or whatever, he's claiming that they've had the opportunity to fight people like Yuriorkis Gamboa, Manny Pacquiao, Terrence Crawford, Vasyl Lomachenko, who are all but Gamboa top rank fighters. Yet it was more just word of mouth. It was never anything done. And he said that's not an indication that they're serious about it. So I kind of want to give my thoughts. I mean, the fight is brewing, Lomachenko versus Mikey Garcia, and I just hope as a boxing fan, not fuck being a reporter, as a boxing fan, I hope this doesn't fall by the wayside and become another classic fight that never happened, like Mikey Garcia versus Yuriorkis Gamboa. Gamboa really wanted the fight. It looked like 50 Cent was trying to make it, but it does seem like Mikey Garcia's side at whatever point, his team didn't want the fight, because an indication to me is Terrence Crawford fought him shortly after that. There's a point where things escalated. Mikey Garcia actually got in the, or actually Gamboa got in the ring after a Mikey Garcia win, right? So it looked like it was going to happen, and it never did. But fast forward a little bit in the future, Terrence Crawford made the fight with Gamboa with little struggle or strife. So me, I just want to see it. That was then. This is now. Gamboa's not really what you would call the most relevant. He kind of lost his last fight and quit. But moving on, Vasyl Lomachenko, Mikey Garcia, that's a damn good fight. I hope the politics and all that bullshit doesn't come in the way of such a great fight. Vasyl Lomachenko, I will say this, he's a true fighter. He's a true fighter because you could tell he's confident in his skills. Like you know what I mean? He's saying, Mikey ain't nothing special. I didn't see nothing outstanding. I didn't see nothing spectacular, jaw-dropping. He just did regular shit with Broner. That's basically what he's saying, if I'm saying it in layman's terms. And I mean, he's a true fighter, because anytime you talk like that and there's a guy in or around your weight class, then you might have to meet up with him, because I mean, that's just the nature of the beast. You're competitive. Like, okay, I'm not A class, fight me then. You know what I mean? So if he's saying this, then to me, he's down to fight Mikey Garcia. Now, again, I don't know all the back and forth of politics, if it will happen. I would love to see the fight. I think it's a good fight. I think Mikey Garcia, I would say he's elite. I mean, it's hard to like, oh, A class, B class, but I would say he's elite. I mean, the way he beat Broner, moving up in weight, I mean, how can you take that away from him? So, you know what I mean? There's a little bit, there's probably some natural biases, like I said, especially with Top Rank, since they had to release him after debating in years in court. So, you know what I mean? They might have some ill will or like a bit of a grudge. Lomachenko, I mean, this is a contemporary, this is a potential rival. So, I mean, I don't expect people in these situations to talk favorably about the other side. Where's he going to say, oh, Garcia, he's the best, he'll beat me? You know what I mean? Of course, Lomachenko's not going to say nothing like that. But just to give you guys all sides of the spectrum, it's so funny because when I say stuff, I'm just the bad guy. You know what I mean? Everyone, oh, you hate Lomachenko, you did it, you know what I mean? And Robert Garcia said the same exact thing, and Mikey Garcia said the same thing. And the day the news came out, I said this, you know what I mean? So I wouldn't be surprised. I'm not saying people copying me directly, I don't know. But I wouldn't be surprised, you know what I mean? These videos get out, and I talk to people in the boxing industry all the time, and you know what I mean? They, oh yeah, I checked your video about this and that. But anyway, I told you guys the day the Lomachenko fight was announced, the video's still up. They announced Terrence Crawford's Julius Ndongo fight the same day, ESPN. And I told you, I said, it's disappointing that Crawford's fight is gravy because he's fighting an undefeated guy with the only other belts in his division. There's nothing you could say. Lomachenko, his fight's a bit disappointing. I mean, I'm glad it's at least on ESPN, but I'm disappointed because I think Lomachenko is a quality fighter. He's fighting a guy who got knocked down in both of his step-ups. He stepped up with a guy he beat in the amateurs, Nicholas Walters, and then he got knocked down in that fight and he lost the fight. Same thing with Oscar Valdez. He got knocked down in that fight and lost the fight. Now he's coming up from 126, moving up to a weight where Lomachenko has more fights at 130, and he's a champion. So that's disappointing because I think, I mean, obviously, Mariaga, a person like that, he's trying to get a paycheck. I'm not saying he's going there only, maybe he thinks he can beat him, but I'm just saying he has to make a living, and this is his livelihood. So if you get a call to fight a big fighter, I mean, he's a fighter. What's he going to say? No, let me rebuild my career. When you don't know when the next call is going to come in. You know what I mean? I don't know what his finances are like. I don't know what paychecks he got versus Valdez and Mariaga. But, I mean, it should be a relatively easy fight for Lomachenko because he's so skilled, plus the guy's coming up in weight. You know what I mean? So, that is disappointing. And Robert Garcia mentioned it. Like I said, I'm a bad guy when I mention it. But now Robert Garcia and Mikey Garcia are saying the same thing. Like, you're fighting a guy from a lower division coming up off of a loss. So, I mean, people who place Lomachenko in the #1 or top 5 or whatever pound-for-pound spot, I understand he's very skilled, but imagine if Floyd Mayweather fought a guy coming off a loss. Even Berto. Berto's a 2-time former champion, but he wasn't coming off a loss. I think he had knocked out Josecito Lopez, and he fought Upshaw or somebody. You know what I mean? But imagine if Floyd Mayweather was fighting a guy off of a loss. Now, the retired Floyd, he's been retired almost 2 years or whatever. He's fighting a guy with 0-0, but he's still a fighter in Conor McGregor, and we all know that makes a lot of money. So, it is what it is. That's my thoughts. Me, Mikey Garcia versus Lomachenko is a brilliant fight. I hope it comes off, and both guys seem to be talking shit and talking about the other person and fighting the other person, so let's see it. I mean, personally, I would like to see Rigondeaux Lomachenko first. I think before he goes up to another division, try to make that fight. You know what I mean? At 130, Lomachenko is at 130. He's a champion there, and we're finally hearing Rigondeaux and teams say, hey, we'll make the consolation of coming up to you to 130. No catch weights or whatever, so try to take him on his offer. And then for whatever reason, if that fight absolutely can't happen, then maybe move up to 35 and push for Mikey Garcia. But I noticed both sides are kind of saying the same thing. Hey, we're open. Our phone lines are open, but we're not, you know, I mean, Mikey Garcia, I was at the press conference. I recorded it. It's on the channel. He was basically saying, I'll fight whoever. I'll fight Lomachenko or whatever, but I'm not going to stall my career. I'm not going to wait for any one fight. And that's kind of the message from Top Rank. Like, hey, our phone lines are open. So, I mean, in this whole Cold War and all this, whatever it is, at this point, somebody got to make the call and try to get this negotiated because it's a great fight for the fans. Let me know your thoughts. Who would you favor in that fight, Mikey Garcia, or would you favor Vasyl Lomachenko? And do you think Mikey Garcia is an A-class fighter? Drop your thoughts. I mean, I really, personally, I don't see what you can complain about. Like, Broner didn't let his hands go. So, I mean, I've never seen, I've seen him where he's economical. He's not letting his hands go a lot, but I never seen him get stalled out like that. So, I would have to say it's the person he was in there with. Obviously, Mikey Garcia was getting off first, had respectable pop at least, you know what I mean, and good timing and stuff like that, because I've never really seen Broner not let his hands go. And he's been in there with guys like Sean Porter at 47 or catchweight, and he's been in there with Maidana, who we know those guys have power, and they were at like 144 to 147. So to me, Mikey Garcia had to be doing something right. So I'm going to give him his credit for that performance. Let me know your thoughts. Is he an A-class fighter? Drop that all in the comment section. Make sure you smash the like button. Also subscribe to the channel. Hate, comment, and subscribe. Until next video, it's Ego signing off.